Most paintings of the apocalypse try to frighten you with monsters. John Martin did something different. In The Great Day of His Wrath, painted in the early 1850s, the horror comes from the feeling that the entire world is collapsing at once, and there is absolutely nothing humanity can do to stop it. The painting is inspired by the Book of Revelation, specifically the moment when divine judgment falls upon the earth at the end of time. But Martin doesn't focus on angels or demons as much as he focuses on scale. Everything is enormous. The mountains split apart like they're made of paper. Entire cities disappear beneath falling rock and fire. The sky burns red while the earth itself seems to tear open underneath the people trying to flee. And the people are tiny. That's one of the most unsettling parts of the painting. You almost have to search for them at first. Small crowds run across cliffs or gather near the edge of collapsing landscapes, but compared to the destruction around them, they look insignificant. It feels realistic in an emotional way, not realistic because mountains literally fly through the air, but because the fear on display feels familiar. People aren't fighting back heroically. They aren't posing dramatically like figures in older Renaissance paintings. They're panicking, some are trying to escape. Others appear frozen in shock. A few seem to be praying. But most of them simply look overwhelmed, like they've suddenly realized the world they depended on is disappearing beneath their feet. That human reaction is what makes the painting work. Martin understood that fear becomes more believable when it feels personal. The destruction in the painting is massive, but the emotion is very simple: helplessness. Even today, standing in front of the artwork feels strangely modern. It almost resembles scenes from disaster films: collapsing cities, violent skis, landscapes breaking apart. Except Martin painted it decades before cinema even existed. And unlike many religious artworks from earlier centuries, the Great Day of His Wrath doesn't feel distant or symbolic. It feels immediate. The painting was created during a time when Britain was rapidly changing through industry and urban expansion. Huge factories filled cities with smoke, railways transformed the countryside, and technology was reshaping everyday life faster than people could fully understand. Some historians believe Martin's apocalyptic paintings reflected those anxieties, the fear that civilization, no matter how powerful it seemed, might still be fragile. That fear still feels relevant now, because at its core, the painting isn't only about biblical judgment. It's about humanity confronting forces larger than itself: nature, time, disaster, mortality, even the collapse of society itself. And Martin captures that feeling perfectly through scale. The cliffs tower over the people like collapsing worlds. The sky glows with violent light while darkness swallows the horizon. Everywhere the eye moves, something is breaking apart. But despite all the chaos, the painting is strangely beautiful. Martin was famous for creating dramatic lighting and enormous landscapes, and here he uses fire and shadow almost like theater lighting. The destruction becomes mesmerizing to look at even while it feels terrifying. That balance between beauty and horror is what made his paintings so famous in the 19th century. People would gather in huge crowds just to see his apocalyptic scenes displayed publicly. And when you look at the Great Day of His Wrath, it's easy to understand why. The painting doesn't just show the end of the world. It shows the moment humanity realizes the world was never truly under its control to begin with.